In this video, I want to share how to use the autocomplete more effectively, particularly when to accept or reject autocomplete suggestions. While the autocomplete feature is useful, it's also a bit like an overconfident intern. It works fast, it fills in code instantly, and sometimes it absolutely nails it. But other times, it hallucinates, introduces subtle bugs, or confidently suggests functions that don't even exist in your codebase. And the tricky part is that it looks correct at a glance, which makes it easy to accept something you really shouldn't. From my experience using this feature, what's helped me the most is having a simple way to pause and check the suggestions before accepting them. It's nothing complicated, just a simple mental model to decide whether the suggestion is something I should accept, tweak, or ignore. So I like to think of these suggestions as traffic lights. Green lights are suggestions you can accept immediately. These are usually repetitive patterns, things like data mapping, simple filters, renaming fields, or wiring types together. Yellow lights are suggestions where you slow down and read the code carefully before accepting it. This often shows up with things like dates, math, or any kind of business logic. In these cases, autocomplete might get the structure or syntax correct, but you still need to verify that the logic actually matches your requirements. And then there are red lights. These are suggestions where you just hit escape and move on. This usually happens when the AI starts overreaching, trying to write extra functions for you, inventing APIs, or making assumptions about how your system should work. Even if the code looks clean, it's often solving a problem you didn't actually ask it to solve. In this video, I'll show you how to spot these green, yellow, and red signals in real time, and how thinking this way can help you use autocomplete more effectively. Okay, let's see how this works in practice. Over here, I've set up a simplified TypeScript project. Think of this as the kind of structure you might see in a basic task management app. In this types file, we have users, roles, and tasks. Nothing really fancy, just a common structure that you might see when working on a project. And then we have this utilities file. Right now, it's completely empty. We're going to add a few utility functions that this project might reasonably need. And as we do that, I'll show you exactly when autocomplete deserves a green light, when it's a yellow light, and when it's a red light. First, we're going to create a simple function to get tasks assigned to a specific user. Okay, we got our first suggestion here, get user tasks, with users and tasks as parameters. Now this is a yellow light because the user parameter should be a single value instead of an array. So let's accept the suggestion, but slightly tweak it. Now this is an example of a red light. Here we have a function body suggestions. This one is based on the function name and parameters, but as it takes into account the user's array parameter, the suggestions went in a completely different direction. It's not what I had in mind at all. So let's ignore that by pressing the escape button. Now fix the user parameter type, make it a single user object. Now go inside the function, type return, and look. The autocomplete suggests the right body, which is to filter the tasks array, only return tasks which user ID equals user.id. This is green light as it's exactly what we want to write, so tap on that. By the way, I forgot to change the user's parameter here. Should be user because it's a single object. Okay, perfect. Next, we're going to create another function to get all tasks that has a specific status. Write the function, and then add the parameters. Okay, now we have another suggestion, and this is a green light as we have an array of tasks and the status parameter which must be the same type as the status field on the task interface. Now for the function body, we just need to filter the array to get all tasks with the same status as the one passed to this function. The suggestion here is green light as it's pretty much what we need, so tap on that. Next, we're going to check if a certain task is overdue, so let's create the function. We will accept a task here, so it's green light, and then we need to compare the date between the task due date and the current date. The return suggestion here is green light as well. Now, if you only want to compare the date and not the time, then you can also set the time to 0 with the setHours function. This way, the comparison only compares the date. And we can also annotate the return type as Boolean here, as we only get either true or false from this function. Alright, next, we're going to check if a user can delete a task. So export function can delete tasks, and we have the suggestion for the function parameters and return type, It's green-like, so just tap. And now we have the suggestions for the function body along with several new functions. As I said before, the autocomplete sometimes acts like an overconfident intern. It suggested some extra functions that may be relevant but not needed. The suggestions here are definitely overreaching, such as get tasks due today, get tasks due this week and next week. This is a red light as it's not something I need or want right now, so let's just ignore that by pressing the escape button. Okay, now here it suggests the function body, which is actually green-like as we only need to see if the user is an admin or the creator of the task. Tap that and the fourth function is completed. Alright, let's create one final function, and that is to get tasks assigned to a user. Now, this suggestion here is yellow-like as it has the parameters type slightly incorrect. Let's accept that first, and then change the user into a single object. And then the return type should be a task array. Okay, now for the function body, simply filter the tasks and return those that have assignee ID equals to user ID. Oh, and the users here should be user as it's a single object as well. So there you have it. That's basically how you can work with autocomplete more effectively. The most important thing to remember is that you need to have a clear vision of what the end result should look like. Autocomplete is a helper, not an authority you're required to follow. If you don't decide upfront what you're trying to achieve, the suggestions can easily become a distraction. You might end up with code that technically runs, but doesn't actually solve the problem you set out to solve. Always keep in mind that you're the leader and the AI is the worker. You need to review the suggestions, and don't be afraid to reject them when they don't suit your needs. If you have your own way of working with autocomplete, please share it in the comments below. I would love to hear how you use this feature effectively. And that brings us to the end of this video. Hopefully, you now have a better idea of when to trust KiloCode's autocomplete and when it's better to ignore it. Used the right way, autocomplete can help speed up your progress with minimal distractions. I hope you all enjoyed today's video and get some value out of it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll join the conversation and reply as often as I can. If you're new to the channel, my name is Nathan and I help you learn how to code and use AI tools. Make sure to subscribe if that's something you find useful. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell, like this video, all the good stuff, as it really helps this channel to grow. With that being said, thanks so much for watching until the end, and I'll see you in other videos. Bye!